Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on using your VR headset with Yulio, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Nicole. I'm one of the client success specialists here at Yulio, and I'll be hosting today's session. The main objective of today's webinar is to get you prepared for using your virtual reality headset with Yulio and to go over some best practices for viewing and presenting in VR. If you have any questions along the way today, please feel free to enter them in the question box and I will answer them during the Q&A period at the end of our session. To add to that, my contact details are on the screen now. So if you'd like to follow up on today's webinar with a one-on-one training session on anything we did or didn't cover today, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to set that up with you. Lastly, if you do have to leave today's session early, I am recording the full webinar and we'll send that out to all registrants later on and you'll be able to watch it and you can share it with your team as well. All right, so here's our agenda for this afternoon's session. We'll start off by going over some Yulio compatible VR headsets. Then we'll get into adding projects to your headset gallery and connecting your headset. After that, I'll go over how you can view and present your projects in VR, as well as sharing your project, and I'll wrap up the session with a Q&A period. All right, so Yulio is compatible with the MetaQuest series of headsets, and this is our most recommended viewing option. So there are 3 different versions of the MetaQuest headset that you can choose from currently. There's the MetaQuest 2, and that offers a great standalone VR experience at an affordable cost. And then the MetaQuest 3 and Pro headsets feature improved image quality and a color camera for augmented/mixed reality applications. When it comes to VR, any of these headsets are a great option, and which version you choose really just depends on your budget. I will say, however, if you intend to use AR applications frequently, then the MetaQuest 3 or Pro headset may be a better option just because they do offer that full color camera for those purposes. All right, so once you have your headset, the next thing you're going to do is download the Yulio Viewer app so that you can connect your headset to your Yulio account. So we're just going to open this video here. Okay, so you're going to start off by putting on your headset and you'll see something like this. So you're going to then open the Meta Horizon store from your app library and search for the Yulio Viewer app in the search bar. And then once that pops up, you will be able to download the Yulio Viewer app for free. And it's just downloading there. So once you've downloaded the app, the next time you open your app library from your headset, you will see the Yulio Viewer app there. All right, now we'll get into how to connect your headset to your Yulio account. So at this point, you'd go ahead and take your headset off and you'd log into your Yulio account from your desktop. So for those of you that are new to Yulio, when you log into your account, you'll always land here on the projects page. This is where you can create new projects and where all the projects on your account will live. So to connect your headset and add projects to your headset gallery, you're going to click on this Headsets tab here at the top of the page. So on this page, you'll see 2 secondary tabs. We have the My Headsets tab and Headset Projects. Under the My Headsets tab is where you'll be able to see any of your connected headsets. And under Headset Projects is where you'll see the gallery of projects that are connected to those headsets. Right now, I don't have any because I'm going to add some. So before you connect your first headset, I recommend adding a couple of projects to your headset gallery so that you can have some projects ready for you when you put your headset back on and return to the Yulio app. So under the Headset Projects tab, like we're in now, you're going to select Add Project. And from your project folders, you're just going to select which projects you'd like to add there. And you do have to add one at a time, so I'll just add a couple. All right, so you can add and store up to 20 projects to your gallery at any time, and they're pre-downloaded to your device through the Yulio app. So once they're downloaded here, you don't need the internet to view your projects while viewing in a headset. Another important thing to note is that all projects featured here in your gallery will connect to all headsets that you've paired under the My Headsets tab. So that's something to keep in mind if you have multiple headsets connected to your account. If you want to delete a project from your gallery, you can do that just by clicking on this red delete button. And you can add and delete projects at any time. From this page, you can also rearrange the order that your projects appear in your headset gallery just by clicking on these two lines and dragging and dropping. All right, let's move on to connecting the headset to your account. So I'm going to go back to the My Headsets tab here. And to connect your headset, you're going to click on this Connect Headset button. And from here, you're going to be prompted to put your headset back on and open the Yulio Viewer app to identify a unique 3-digit pairing code. So I'm going to go ahead and open this video again. All right, so at this point, again, you'd put your headset back on and open the Yulio app. And so here's what you'll see when you open the app. This is just some in-app onboarding. And once you've gone through the onboarding, you're going to look down to find a connect icon. Right now, this person already has connected their headset, so they have some projects here in their gallery that they're looking at. But they're just going to look down, find this connect button, and they're going to gaze at that button for a few seconds until their pairing code appears here. So at this point, you would write down or memorize that code, that 3-digit code, take your headset off, and then return to your Yulio account. Then you would enter that pairing code here and press enter. And then once you do that, your headset will be connected and you will see it appear like mine here. At the same time, any of those projects that you added to your gallery under the headset projects here will be downloaded to or added to your gallery and synced to your headset through the Yulio app. Just another note here, if you end up having multiple headsets here, you can rename them just by clicking on this naming tab here, just to keep things organized. All right, before we get into how you would view and present in VR, I'm going to go over a couple of customizations that you can make to your VR experience. So if you recall when we were just watching that video of how to connect your headset, the gallery of projects that the person was looking at in their app was displayed in a sort of empty building environment. So we refer to this as your company lobby. So it's essentially the background environment that your projects are displayed in when you open the Yulio app. And if you're an administrator on your account, you can customize this lobby to reflect any scene from any of your projects. So here's how you can customize this. You're going to click on your email here at the top of the page and select company settings. And then from these subheadings here, we're just going to select custom branding. And when I scroll down, you'll see a preview of the default company lobby. So this is that empty building that you would have saw and that I was just referring to. If you want to change this, you can just select the company lobby button and choose a project from your account. So I can go in and choose one of those projects that I was just looking at if I wanted to. One thing to note here is that by default, the first scene in that project will be chosen as the company lobby scene. If you wanted to choose a different scene in the project as your lobby, there's two ways you can do that. You can create a new project that contains only that single scene, or you can duplicate the project from within your account and then delete all the other scenes from the project except for the scene that you want as your lobby. So you would save that project and then come here to this page and assign that special project that only has one scene as your company lobby. Okay. And then if you choose to update your lobby, you'll see a preview of what that'll look like in this thumbnail here. All right, so another thing you can do from this page is upload your company logo. So by uploading a logo to your account, your logo will appear each time you open any of the projects on your account. So that's just a nice way to customize your projects with your branding. All right, so now that you've connected your headset, you've uploaded your projects, you are all set to start viewing your projects in VR. So at this point, you'd go ahead again and put your headset back on and open the Yulio Viewer app. And I'm just going to open this video here. Okay. So once you put your headset on and open the Yulio Viewer app, you'll see something like this. So again, this is another company lobby. And this person is going to go ahead and set their controllers down here in a minute. So they've gone ahead and set down their hand controllers, and you'll notice a message will appear that says gaze control active. So gaze control is another feature we have that helps make the viewing experience as simple as possible. So instead of using your hand controllers to select projects and click on hotspots, you can simply use your gaze. So now we'll see as this person looks around, you'll notice a small circle in the middle of the screen, and that is their gaze indicator. So this user is going to go ahead and open a project by gazing at the view button on that project. And they're going to hold it for a few seconds and the project will open. So if you prefer, you can pick up your hand controllers at any time and use them instead to point and click. But the gaze is just a simple way to point and click without having to use your hand controllers. All right, so now we're in an immersive VR experience. If this is your first time in a VR headset, you can start off by just taking a moment to look around and get comfortable in the experience. Something that is important to note here is that you're not really going to be physically walking around while viewing in VR with Yulio. So each time you open the Yulio Viewer app, you'll be prompted to confirm a small virtual boundary that is set up around you. And if you step out of that boundary while viewing in VR, the VR experience will vanish. And this just helps keep you from bumping into anything in your physical space while viewing in VR. So, because you won't be walking around too much, a simple way to start out is by just sitting in a swivel chair so that you can easily turn your body to view the scene in 360. And of course, if you don't have a swivel chair, you don't want to do that, you can always just stand up and you'll be able to take one or two steps or turn your head and body all around to see the 360 of the space around you. Okay, so once you feel comfortable in the VR headset, you can start exploring. So from here, you can just use your gaze indicator to activate hotspots, navigate to new scenes, and open the floor plan if there's one available. So that person just clicked on a navigation hotspot and ended up in a new scene. So if you're familiar with viewing in browser mode already, viewing in VR is very similar. So there's a few different ways that you can navigate scene to scene. The first is using navigation hotspot, which that person just did. It also just looks like this circle here. So that'll help. That is a way that you can move scene to scene. And it's Yulio's form of point-to-point navigation. So that helps kind of give that sense of walking through the experience when you use the navigation hotspots. So to activate the hotspot, again, you're just going to gaze at it with your gaze indicator, which this person will do in a moment, and they'll move to that new scene. The next way you can navigate is with the floor plan, if there's one included in the project. So to find the project floor plan, you're just going to look down while viewing in VR. You're just going to look down slightly, and you'll see this menu appear with a floor plan button included. And you can also see the navigation arrows here, which you can navigate with. But essentially, this person is going to gaze at this floor plan button and open up the floor plan. And just like when you're viewing in browser mode, you can identify where you're standing in the project by that blue colored location marker. And they're just going to go ahead and they gazed at one of the other location markers and moved to a new scene. So now we're back in the lobby area. And as you can see, there's various other enhancement hotspots around the scene, which again, you can activate just by holding your gaze over any of them. And this person's going to do that shortly. And as a reminder, Yulio's hotspot options include text, image, video, audio, and AR. So this is a text hotspot that the user has activated. Here they're activating a audio hotspot, but we can't hear that right now. And this is a video hotspot. This is an embedded video, so this is a premium add-on, but anyone can upload or download a YouTube video and add that in there as part of your standard plan. All right, so now they're just looking down at that looking down at that menu again, and they're going to go ahead and just exit the project. All right, so now they are back in the company lobby, and the next project we're viewing here includes AR or augmented reality. So, if you don't know, AR hotspots allow you to view project elements in full 360, and you can place them in your own physical space to understand how they fit into your own surroundings. So, this is a great feature to use, for instance, if you want to see how a piece of furniture might fit into your current space. For this project, when you're viewing in AR, you're going to want to pick up your hand controllers again because you do need them to interact with AR objects when you're viewing with a VR headset. So this person's going to activate this AR hotspot right here. So when you begin viewing the AR element, just going to pause for a moment here. All right, so when you begin viewing this AR element, you'll notice some text around your hand controllers. It's a little bit hard to see here, but this text indicates what the specific buttons on your controllers can do. So you can move the object, rotate it, lift it, zoom in, and you can also change the background environment. So currently, this user is just viewing in this sort of white background environment, but you can also change it eventually to view your own space. You're not going to see that here, though. They don't do it here, but they're just um, moving the object around, zooming in, rotating it, and then they're going to change the background. This is like a VR background, and then they're just closing that. All right, so now we will return to our Yulio account again. So another way you can view your projects in VR with team members or present them to clients is using Yulio's Collaborate feature. So some of you might be familiar with Collaborate already, but it's essentially an elevated presentation mode. So when you host a session, you can have everyone meet in the same virtual space, guide viewers around the space, see what others are seeing, and collect feedback. So we see Collaborate used for in-person and remote meetings, and even at events. So guests that you're meeting with in person or remotely can all join either on a headset or in browser mode on their desktop or phone even. So before you launch your session, if your guests will be wearing headsets, you'll just want to make sure that you have connected those headsets to your Yulio account under the My Headsets tab or through a client gallery, which I will touch on later. So if you to launch a Collaborate session, you can just navigate to the Collaborate page here from the top or on the top of your page. And then one thing to note is that you can't launch a Collaborate session from a VR headset. So the host will always have to launch and present a Collaborate session from their browser, but guests can join from their headset or browser. So when you launch a Collaborate session, the first project in your headset gallery will auto load by default. If you prefer to turn this feature off and select your project manually each time, you can do that just by navigating to the settings tab, and you would turn this this button off here, which is auto load first headset project. Just so you know, though, any settings that you update here will be reflected for all future Collaborate sessions, not just the one you're in now. Okay, so to see who's joined your session, you can just click on the Add Participants tab here. And there's a few different ways your guests can join a Collaborate session. This depends on the device they're joining with. So if your guests are in a headset that has been connected to your Yulio account or a client gallery, the project will auto load in the Yulio Viewer app once the Collaborate session starts. So all they have to do is put their headset on, open the Yulio Viewer app, and they will automatically join the session. If you have participants that are joining in browser mode from their mobile device, they can see and if they can see the screen that I'm looking at right now, they can scan this QR code with their phone and join that way. And then for those joining on a desktop, you can either share this direct link with them here, or they can go to live.ulio.com and enter in that unique group code. And then when a new guest joins, you'll be able to see their name pop up in the participants tab here. So I'm going to give a minute for everyone to join, or I'm going to invite you to join if you'd like to join this short Collaborate session here. And you can kind of get a sense of how it works and what your guests will see as you host sessions moving forward. So you can join on your phone by scanning this QR code here. I recommend joining on your phone so that you can see what I'm doing from your computer screen as the host, and then see what the guest perspective will be from your cell phone. Okay, so it looks like we have some participants here. All right, so like I said, if you've joined on your mobile device, you can look at my screen to see what your perspective will be as you host sessions moving forward. And then what you see on your mobile device is what your viewers will see as the participants. Now, of course, this browser mode experience is not as immersive as the VR headset experience would be, but this still will give you a good sense of what you can expect. All right, so we'll get started with our session. So looking at my screen as the host, there's two ways you can present your Collaborate session. Present mode and explore mode, as you can see here. So by default, your Collaborate sessions will open in present mode. And we recommend starting off in this mode because it gives you, as the host, the control to guide your viewers through the experience and direct your viewers' attention to a certain area in a scene. In this mode, guests cannot activate any hotspots, and they're restricted to the scene that the host is in. So only when the host activates a hotspot can they view the hotspot, and only when the host navigates to a new scene will the guest navigate to a new scene. So before we start testing our hotspots, one thing to note is that your viewers' screens are not mirroring your screen. So if you join the session, you'll notice that we're in the same scene, but as I look around, the view on your phone does not follow. That said, as the host, I can direct my guest's attention to a certain area and at any time just by using this spotlight button here at the top right side of my screen. So I'm going to direct your attention here. So all of your screens should have been redirected to my view. And let's try out some different hotspots. So here we have a navigation hotspot. So if I click on that, we'll jump to a new scene. Okay, and here I have an image hotspot, so I can hover over that or click on that and you'll see that image appear. This is just an alternate backsplash example or sample. All right, and then we can go to the next scene by using this arrow here at the bottom, and we can try out this AR object here. So If I click on this, the AR object will appear. So we saw what this experience can look like in a VR headset, and this is what the browser mode experience looks like. So I can use my mouse to view the object in full 360. Um, and if your guest doesn't have a headset, they can still get a similar AR viewing experience as they would in a headset just by using their smartphone or tablet. So what they can do is I can open up this here and you can scan the AR um, code here, sorry, the QR code here. And that will open up the object on your phone and um, you can see how the object will look in your own physical space. Okay, I'm just going to exit out of that now. Okay, the last thing I want to mention about presenter mode is that you can give presenter privileges to a guest at any time just by clicking on their name in the participants tab. And they can sort of take control of the presentation. So they can activate hotspots and then direct others' attention or your attention to different areas of interest. The second mode we have here is explore mode, which I'll switch to now. So in this mode, all guests can explore the project freely, including activating hotspots and navigating to new scenes. So during this time, as the host, so my explore mode will gaze through each guest's view every 10 to 15 seconds, so you can see what all your guests are looking at and where they are exploring. And then if you're in explore mode and you want to take back control, you can just click on present again, and you as the host will be back in control. All right, so I'm just going to end the collaborate session now and return to my account. All right, the final Yulio feature I want to talk about today is client galleries. So client galleries allows you to share a collection of up to 20 projects directly with your client or create a curated gallery of projects for an upcoming event or trade show. It's also a great tool to use if you have more than one headset and you want to showcase a gallery of projects on that additional headset that is different from the projects in your headset gallery. If you remember, I mentioned earlier that any headsets connected under your headsets tab will automatically be loaded with the projects in your headset gallery. So this is a great way, client galleries is a great way to load a headset with projects that are different from those in your headset gallery. So to create a client gallery, you're going to select this resources tab here at the top of the page and then click on client galleries. Then I'm going to click on create gallery. So there are two gallery options here, individual and event, and you can create an unlimited number of either of these galleries. So an individual gallery allows you to share a portfolio of projects directly with your client, and it provides them a place to log in, view their gallery, and connect a headset. And this is a great way to share a collection of projects with a client without having to send them multiple project links. You can also send projects straight to the client's headset as well with a client gallery. So that's a great option. And then there's also an event gallery, which allows you to create a gallery of projects without the need to invite a client. So this is a great way to manage which projects are showcased on your headsets before heading into an event. Okay, so let's say you want to create an individual gallery. You would just select this. You just enter your client's name and their email. Then you'll be prompted to add your projects to the gallery, connect headsets if you have one yourself, or your client can connect their headset later on. And then you'll just save that gallery and send the invitation, and they'll get that invitation to their email. Okay, now I'm just going to go and return to my slides here. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap up today's webinar with some tips for presenting in VR. And this goes for whether you're attending an event or a trade show or just presenting at an in-person meeting. So of course you want to first make sure that any headsets you're bringing are connected to your Yulio account. You're also going to want to ensure that the correct projects are preloaded to your headset so that you don't have to worry about connecting to Wi-Fi and downloading them on the day of. If you're going to use, say, an event gallery that you've set up, you're just going to, again, want to make sure that the correct headsets are connected to that gallery and that all the projects you want to showcase have been downloaded to that gallery. Next, so a fully charged headset should last you a few hours, but depending on how much you will be using the headset, you may want to bring an extra set of batteries for your hand controllers and then the appropriate charging cords for your headset. And that leads me to my next tip, which is if you're going to be attending a day long event where the headset will be getting a lot of use, you may want to consider purchasing an extended battery pack to keep your headset charged throughout the day. And if you have a MetaQuest headset, this extended battery pack can just be purchased straight through the Meta store. Lastly, we find that sitting in a swivel chair can offer an easier viewing experience for those not used to VR. So, if you will be having different people wearing the headset throughout the day and you have access to a swivel chair, that's a great option to have on hand as well. All right, well, that wraps up today's webinar. I know that was a lot of information to take in a short amount of time, but I do hope that you were able to learn some helpful tips for setting up your headset and viewing and presenting in VR. Thank you all again for joining me today. If you have any questions, you can submit them in the chat box or the question box, and I'll stick around for the next couple of minutes to answer those. As a reminder, if you want to book another training session with me on anything we covered today, or if you have questions that pop up later, my email is up on the screen. So please feel free to reach out and I will gladly support you as best I can. All right. Okay, so someone mentioned that they want to know a little bit more about lobby images. Are those built in Yulio? No, so if you wanted to change your lobby image, you will have to select a project from your account. So I can go back here and show you. So essentially what you would do is you'd go to your change lobby and I can go in here, select a project. This is a little condo. And when I select that project, the first scene in the project will be set as my company lobby scene. Does that make sense? Okay, great. Can you have unlimited projects in your Yulio account? Yes, you can. You do have a limit on views, however. So project views. So each license you have allots 1,500 views. So there's a limit on the views, but not a limit on how many projects you create. So when you are collaborating, I'm sorry, I can't fully see your question. Let me see. When you are collaborating, you can view any project in your account during Collaborate. For client galleries, if you're creating a client gallery, I think that might be what you're asking. If you're creating a client gallery, um, you can only have up to 20 projects in the client gallery. All right, so I think that wraps up all the questions. I'm not seeing any more here. So, again, thank you all for joining me today. I will send out the webinar shortly. Thanks again.